Have you heard the phrase inner child but not really sure what an inner child is? Well, today we're going to talk about what the inner child is, how to tell if you have a wounded inner child, and if you do have a wounded inner child, how you can help heal and free your wounded inner child. So usually we dive on into the topics of the day, but today we are going to slide on into the topic. Here we go. Woo! Hey Soul Surfers, welcome back to the channel. Before we get started on today's topic of the inner child, go ahead and click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we would love to have you in the community, and also the notification bell to be notified when new content is posted. And if you like what you see in this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Today we're talking about the inner child. We're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about what the inner child is. We're also going to talk about how to tell if you have a wounded inner child, and then also how to heal that wounded inner child if you do have a wounded inner child. All right, so first off, what the heck is an inner child? I remember hearing this and being like, there is not a child living inside of me. Well, that's true. There's not literally a child living inside of you, but there is an essence of a child living inside you. So what the inner child is your true self. It is that part of you when you were born, when you were a child, that childlike wonder, that joy, that happiness, that pure imagination and expression. So when we come into this world, we are born with this joy within us already. And we don't know that we're anything but love and joy and happiness until we get older and start being influenced by our environment. Through time, as we grow up and we are around our environment and we start giving meaning to things, our mind starts being programmed with what we believe about different things in life, about money, about love, about what relationships look like, about how to deal with our emotions, about how to deal with other people's emotions and relate to other people. And so that subconscious programming and templating that we are picking up, based on what we're identifying and giving meaning to in our surroundings, that's our inner child as we grow older. So it's essentially the part of us that is running the show. So even if we're an adult, we are still being run by those beliefs and subconscious programs that we picked up in our childhood. So our inner child is the one running the show. And there are quite a lot of people right now who are acting from a wounded inner child space. If this is your first time hearing about the inner child, or you've never connected with or met your inner child before, I created this guided meditation for meeting your inner child. I'll link it here and below in the description box, and you can check it out after this video. And this is a great start to meeting, seeing, and connecting with your inner child. So how can you tell if you have a wounded inner child? Here are some ways that you might be able to identify if you have a wounded inner child that needs some attention. I'll do another video in the future breaking down these traits in more detail and describing them a bit further. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to describe some of the traits that may be seen. These traits include fear of authority figures, people-pleasing, fear of criticism, addiction or escapism, a victim mentality, overly responsible or overly irresponsible, having poor boundaries or having the inability to set or maintain healthy boundaries, judgmental of others, which is often a reflection of being harshly judgmental of themselves, fear of being alone or fear of abandonment, easily triggered or reactive, high anxiety or any anxiety, and hypervigilance also, self-sabotaging behaviors, extremely negative self-talk or a harsh inner critic, and difficulty identifying and properly expressing emotions. Again, this is not an exhaustive list of traits, but these are some main components of having a wounded inner child. If you resonate with any of the characteristics that were just described, you have a wounded inner child, or at least a part of your inner child that needs some attention. Now I'm going to talk about different ways that you can heal your wounded inner child. Again, I'll do a more in-depth video on these in the future, but for now, here are some ideas to get you started. The first thing to do is to feel your feelings, identify them, and feel them. If you are having trouble identifying your emotions, you can do a Google search for a feelings wheel, and these feelings wheels they'll start at the very core of the basic emotions and really expand out. So you can start simple, and then as you learn to identify your feelings further and further, you can branch out on that feelings wheel. You can also create a safe space for yourself and your inner child. And you can do this physically by having a physical space that you can go and feel safe. You can also create an emotionally safe space by reaching out to people you know who will listen to you and who are there for you and support you instead of judging you. You can also pull out pictures of yourself as a child and look at them and kind of dialogue with them as well. And when you're doing this dialoguing, you can actually journal on it as well. So having a journal and journaling is a great way. Asking your inner child, how are you today? Now, a really effective technique in journaling with the inner child is to use your non-dominant hand. And this was something very new to me, and I decided to try it because I was really willing to try anything to help heal my inner child. And it was absolutely powerful, this technique. So I highly encourage asking the question to your inner child, either to the picture or to the idea in your mind of your inner child. How are you today? What do you need? What do you have to say? And then using the non-dominant hand to let anything come out that does. You can also use whatever comes out in this handwriting, or you don't have to use this at all, to write a letter to your younger self. What kinds of things might they have wanted to hear from the people around them that they didn't hear? You can tell that to yourself now and to your inner child now and help them feel safe and loved. Another great way to heal your inner child is through affirmations. I made a guided meditation for self-love affirmations that I will link here for you. But these affirmations are going to help reprogram the script, the story that your inner child is keeping running in your head, especially if it's not the most positive script. These affirmations are going to also help your inner child feel safe, comfortable, loved, and stronger each and every day that you use them. Another way to heal your inner child is through reparenting yourself. And what this really means is in instances where your inner child is maybe the one reacting or acting in certain situations or moments, stopping and listening to your inner child and then thinking to yourself, what would I tell a child in this situation? What would a loving parent say to a child who was acting out in these situations? There's a lot more to reparenting, but that's kind of the basic step, is looking at it from how would a loving parent respond in this situation? Or perhaps even asking yourself, how would you have wanted your parents to respond to you in a situation that you're in now as a child? And the final way I'll touch on for healing your inner child is through therapy, counseling, or 12-step recovery programs. There is actually a 12-step program for those who have a wounded inner child. I will link the information in the description box below in case you're interested in looking into this at all. But there's also counseling, therapy, any kind of way to talk through these issues in a safe space where with people who relate to you or with somebody who understands or is willing to hold the space for you to really share those details of your life as a child, or to really hear you out and allow your inner child and yourself to speak. And of course, the best way to heal your inner child is to have some fun. Do things that you liked to do as a child that either you stopped doing or were told you shouldn't be doing, and just really get in the mode of having fun. Blow some bubbles, write on the sidewalk with chalk, color, paint, sing, dance, whatever is fun for you. That is going to strengthen and allow your inner child out and help heal them. All right, Soul Surfers, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments how you like to have fun and let your inner child play. What are some fun things you loved doing as a kid that you might not do anymore and now you definitely want to do again? You'll find them. They'll come to you. I really appreciate you being here for this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.